Coming up on 11 News at 10, more than 100 people remain homeless. The latest on the Regency Tower fire in Colorado Springs. Plus, the effects of a late May snowstorm are still being felt days later. Hear from just a few of the hundreds of people dealing with the destruction left behind. And the search continues for a missing Colorado Springs woman. How some residents are continuing to bring attention to her case.
Now, with 11 minutes of nonstop news and your certified most accurate forecast. This is KKTV 11 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tony Keith. Thanks so much for joining us. We start with an update tonight. We have new photos from the Red Cross after an apartment fire left dozens of seniors homeless. Now, thankfully, everyone's okay. Right now, there is a shelter set up at Cheyenne Mountain High School. They've helped more than 120 people after the blaze at the Regency Tower apartments broke out yesterday. 11 News reporter Catherine Silver is live there. It's off of 8th Street. And Catherine, this is the second night people are not allowed back.
Tony, this is their home. It's where all their stuff is, and it's where they want to be. Right now, they don't know when they'll be able to come back here.
You just want to sit there and cry.
These are the people who call Regency Tower home.
It's been frustrating and tiring.
I have nothing but what,
They watched smoke pour out of their building Friday when a fire broke out on the 10th floor.
They come pounding on the door. Fire, 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 get out, get out.
The apartments are home to seniors. They evacuated down flights of stairs.
I had to hang on to the railing and balance myself with the other arm.
Some were even rescued by ladder. Most left everything behind.
I don't have clothes, I don't have anything.
This shelter at Cheyenne Mountain High School is here to help.
I'm great. The building's not.
But for now, it's a waiting game as these neighbors look towards an uncertain future. We're told the property manager will decide when people will be allowed back in here. Most people are staying with friends and family right now, or they've gotten hotels, but even that's difficult because it's a holiday weekend. The Red Cross tells us only one person will have to stay at their shelter tonight. Live in Colorado Springs, I'm Catherine Silver, KKTV 11 News.
Thank you, Catherine. Of course, hoping the best for everyone impacted by that fire. Well, now turning to our no-wait weather. Jordan, are we expected to hit at least 70 again tomorrow?
I'll tell you what, Tony, I'm going to do you one better. We're going to make a run at 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon. It may not seem like it, especially tonight with a few clouds starting to build in, and I do think if you're going to be up real early tomorrow morning, you're going to notice a cloudy start to your day on Sunday. But temperatures for now not feeling too bad, 50s and 60s up and down the I-25 corridor. What we have right now is more of an easterly wind, and that's drawing in some moisture from the far eastern plains, which, by the way, did get some pretty good rainfall earlier today, especially in western Kansas. So as we continue to cool through the early overnight here, we'll start to see some of that moisture get drawn in, potentially bring some locally dense fog out to parts of eastern El Paso County. I think here along the Colorado Springs area down to Pueblo, we'll just deal with some low clouds out there with eventually any cloud cover and fog lifting as we get into the mid-morning hours for your Sunday. So cool, cloudy night tonight. Then we're going to be talking about that severe weather opportunity once again Sunday afternoon. We'll break down where those storms are going to set up and what we could face in my long weather coming up in about 15 minutes. Tony, back to you.
Well, thank you, Jordan. Some good news tied to all those snowstorms this year. Colorado is completely drought-free. It's the first time in years. The Colorado Climate Center is reporting just 0.01% of the Centennial State is considered abnormally dry. This is the best status since the drought monitor was even established about 20 years ago. Well, 11 minutes of non-stop news continues with this. On Monday, we were hit with a snowstorm, and residents in Colorado Springs, they're still dealing with the damage caused nearly a week later. New tonight, 11 News reporter Spencer Wilson shows how the mad dash to get things cleaned up was a huge help to those in need.
I'll tell you what, it's the worst I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
A half-hour holdup along Highway 24.
we had pineapple drinks, turkey legs.
And
Now we're stuck in traffic.
Just trying to get into Rocky Top Resources and drop off their broken branches.
You got Memorial Day weekend. You got the Saturday where you can do it for just a few cans of food. Plus, you've just had the storm, so.
Yes, that late spring storm. Heavy wet snow knocking branches off trees leads to this.
Yeah, I got about a 65-foot stick in my front yard right now.
Oh, it's hard to see. There's a couple trees in there.
And while the wood piles up, so do the donations.
Yes, it's been nuts.
Rocky Top's owners have a deal on Saturday. Bring in canned food and you can dump for free. And they're raking in the donations for Care and Share.
3 times as much.
The line didn't let up from 8 this morning until 4 at closing time. An estimated 1,500 people, and a few were even turned away.
If you can believe it, people are saying they still have more branches to get rid of. Thankfully, next Saturday they have the same opportunity. That also means you might want to watch out for traffic that same line forms. In Colorado Springs, Spencer Wilson, KKTV 11 News.
Well, thank you, Spencer. I have to mention the facility is closed tomorrow, but opens again on Tuesday. You'll have to pay a fee at that time to drop it off. Well, this is new video into our newsroom tonight. I want you to check this out. A building-sized boulder and other falling rocks have destroyed a portion of a Colorado highway. Eddie Lewis flew over the rock slide and captured this video. CDOT says crews will need to blast the biggest boulder into smaller pieces so they can remove it from the road. The rock slide happened yesterday on Highway 145, that's in southwest Colorado, between Cortez and Telluride. At this time, there's no word on when the road will reopen. If you're traveling that way this weekend, we've got information on how you can avoid all this on our website, kktv.com. This is new tonight. This was a really close call. A car hit the side of a building in a neighborhood just east of the Olympic Training Center. This was the scene at about 6:30 tonight, and the driver even hit a gas meter on the side of the building. The driver was taken to the hospital, and police are still investigating the cause of the crash. No one else was injured, and thankfully there wasn't any serious damage done to the gas meter, or this could have been a lot worse. Travel delays on highways across the country are expected to be at least 3 times as long as normal. That's according to INRIX, an analytics company. And AAA expects about 43 million people are hitting the road this weekend. With that comes an important reminder from emergency crews tonight to stay safe and use caution if you plan on going out. Fire crews say to take it slow when you see something like this. 11 News viewer Angela sent this clip of a car fire along I-25. This is south of Colorado Springs. No word yet on any serious injuries, and only about 1 lane had to be closed down at the time. All lanes opened up back up at 5. And then there's this crash that happened on westbound Highway 24 this afternoon. Manitou Springs fire crews say that 1 person was taken to the hospital. No update on how serious those injuries are. Well, looking ahead, this is what Memorial Day is all about. People will be visiting cemeteries and memorials to honor those who have died serving our country. The newest national cemetery in our area is welcoming the public to its first Memorial Day ceremony. It starts at 11 a.m. Monday. This is at the Pikes Peak National Cemetery on Drennan Road in Colorado Springs. More than 700 veterans and family members have been laid to rest there since the cemetery began burials last year. Well, President Trump is in Japan tonight for a state visit and has a busy schedule over the next couple of days. He'll be there to meet he'll be the first world leader to meet Japan's new emperor. The president started his visit at a dinner with several dozen Japanese and American business leaders. He said their 2 countries are working hard to craft a bilateral trade deal.
Japan has had a substantial edge for many, many years, but that's okay. Maybe that's why you like us so much. But we'll get it a little bit more fair, I think.
A senior administration official says President Trump and Japan's Prime Minister are going to have some big announcements in the coming days. The 2 leaders are planning to hold a joint press conference sometime next week. Well, this is developing. Police are looking for whoever stole several cartons of cigarettes from the local 7-Eleven here in Colorado Springs. Investigators told us the crime happened very early this morning at Fillmore and Hancock Avenue. The suspect reportedly didn't use a weapon. They just walked right in, took what they wanted, and then got away. Now, police have not released a suspect description at this time. We, of course, will update you as we learn more about this case. Well, this is happening tomorrow. Community members don't want you to forget about Jepsy, this woman pictured here. They're coming together to hold a vigil for a missing Colorado Springs woman. I spoke to Jepsy Amaga's mother about 2 months ago, just before police announced the case to the public. There are still more questions than answers. The vigil is expected to be held at Cimarron East Ridge Park. That's just west of Mark Shuffle Road and Constitution Avenue. If you have any information on her disappearance, you're asked to call Colorado Springs Police. The battle over the border wall continues. Coming up on 11 News, details on a federal judge's take on the president's border security plan. But first, lost for nearly 2 weeks. The story of how a missing hiker fought for her life in a forest on Hawaii. Jordan?
All right, thanks, Tony. I'd say it was a great start to the long weekend. Those temperatures making it into the 70s and 80s. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow. Will we see storms? I've got your long weather forecast coming up in about 5 minutes.
Coming up on 11 News at 10, officers with guns drawn in a Colorado Springs neighborhood. We've got the latest on a standoff on the northwest side of the city. Plus, breaking down barriers. A Colorado Springs teen who is legally blind has a message that needs to be heard after it took her 3 months and about 50 applications to land a job. And the stage is set. Oprah Winfrey is coming to town. What soon-to-be grads have to say about the woman speaking at their commencement ceremony.
Now, with an 11 breaking news alert. This is KKTV 11 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tony Keith. We start with this 11 breaking news alert. A neighborhood in Colorado Springs on high alert this evening as police flooded their street. A man barricaded himself inside an apartment building. This is all happening near Garden of the Gods and Forest Hill Road. That's just west of I-25. 11 News reporter Ashley Franco is live there now. And Ashley, what's the scene out there like?
Well, Tony, this all started at 5:30 tonight. It is now 10:01 and police are still out here. About half an hour ago, we heard what sounded like gunshots and then it stopped. A dispute turns into a man barricading himself into an apartment. Police had more than that suspect on their hands. A woman seen running toward the scene in tears. Police say a woman and child were involved. They were able to get outside and to safety. A man living in the area tells 11 News things in the neighborhood changed in a split second.
So I was looking out the alleyway wondering, why aren't the cops back here? And right as I thought that, 3 cops pulled through and one of them was leaning out the window of his cop car with his gun drawn.
Police brought out canine units and SWAT teams to help try to talk the man out of the apartment. Neighbors say they could hear the argument happening before police even got there.
You could hear just screaming and yelling in the background, and it went quiet for a little bit, and then the volume went up even louder.
Police have not given us an update to if they got the suspect or if the standoff has ended. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, I'm Ashley Franco, KKTV 11 News.
Thank you, Ashley. And of course, we'll have those updates on our website tomorrow morning as soon as we learn anything. Well, turning to our no-wait weather, we're joined by meteorologist Lucy Bergman. Lucy, have the rain showers wrapped up for the night?
For the majority of us, Tony, yes. We are seeing those clear skies, and this is pretty much the first time all afternoon and evening we've seen those clear skies over Colorado Springs. The city lights shining on through just fine. We do have a couple low, thin clouds and also that shower activity up by the Denver metro area, but right now the majority of Colorado is clearing out with a lot of that activity pushing off to the east. We are cool tonight with temperatures only in the 30s and 40s right now. 33 in Woodland Park. We're at 43 in Colorado Springs and in the 40s as well in Pueblo, which is much cooler than this time last night by about anywhere from 5 to 20 degrees cooler, which you'll see reflected in our overnight lows tonight. And Colorado commencement coming up tomorrow morning, and that kicks off at 8:30. If you're headed to that, you're going to want to grab a light layer, and this is pretty much the forecast for all of us here, that it's going to be chilly in the 30s and 40s, climbing into the 50s by those mid-morning hours. We're talking about how highs due tomorrow afternoon and more rain chances in the forecast. Those details coming up in a bit. Tony?
And thank you so much, Lucy. Well, this is new tonight. A tragic story out of Colorado. A survivor of the 1999 Columbine school shooting was found dead today. 37-year-old Austin Eubanks was shot in the hand and knee in the attack that killed 12 classmates and a teacher. That included his best friend. He became addicted to drugs after taking pain medication, later became an advocate for fighting addiction. An autopsy is scheduled for Monday, but his family told KMGH, quote, "He lost the battle with the very disease he fought so hard to help others face." Developing tonight, the search is on for whoever opened fire at a southern Colorado apartment complex. Now, police say no one was hurt. They found a lot of evidence in this case. This happened early this morning on the north side of the Belmont neighborhood in Pueblo. These that you're looking at are pictures from police. Investigators found several bullet holes in an apartment, and one of the rounds reportedly went through a wall and into a second apartment. Police are also trying to find the driver and passengers behind this suspected DUI crash. This was the scene early this morning in Pueblo, just off of I-25 on the north side of the city. An ambulance crew told police they were traveling behind the vehicle, saw it spin off the highway. Witnesses say 3 people got out, ran away before police arrived. Police found a lot of beer in the vehicle, and they think it probably played a role in this crash. The crash, of course, remains under investigation. A lot of people are talking about this. Oprah Winfrey set to address graduates at Colorado College tomorrow morning. Now, she's also there to support former students from her school in South Africa. And you can expect traffic downtown from 7 in the morning until about 1:30 in the afternoon. There's going to be road closures around the Colorado College campus. We talked to some students today about the excitement ahead of Oprah's speech.
I think the world could use an example of giving and a lot more giving. And I think Oprah has luckily somehow made a career out of giving to people. And I hope that she says something to that effect.
It was a pretty crazy moment when we found out about it. Nobody was expecting it at all, so it was very exciting.
Yeah, a lot of people excited for this event. This is a pretty exclusive ceremony. We're going to be there to cover it, and we'll have more on her visit tomorrow night. Well, new details tonight. The Air Force is moving forward with building a new headquarters for U.S. Space Command. Officials say it will be ready to launch this year. U.S. Space Command will lead satellite efforts for all military services and oversee potential combat in space. Now, this is separate from President Trump's goal of creating a Space Force as its own branch of the military. Colorado Springs is a leading candidate to permanently house Space Command. Military officials confirmed that 3 of the 6 locations named as finalists are in the Pikes Peak region. 11 minutes of nonstop news continues with this. Another Democrat is starting to hit the campaign trail. Joe Biden kicked off his first official campaign rally today in Pennsylvania. Thousands of people showed up to park near the Philadelphia Museum of Art steps, made famous, of course, by the movie Rocky. In his speech, Biden called for unity and made jabs at President Trump. Last month, he entered a crowded race for the Democratic nomination, which also includes Colorado Senator Michael Bennet and former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper. Well, hate is not welcome in Colorado. That was the message from a neighborhood today. New at 10, Michael Abeyta with our sister station in Denver shows us how they put their words into action.
Saturday morning in Denver was filled with lots of sunshine.
Yay, you made it? I made it. Yay.
And love for Kenneth Jenkins and his wife, Devin Mead.
It's wonderful. I mean, to see people come together and, offer something tragic and something positive come out of it.
Back in March, someone spray painted the outside of Kenneth and Devin's home with racial slurs and what Kenneth considers a threat. Back then, the couple didn't feel very welcome in their neighborhood.
I feel disappointed. I feel let down.
Kind of mortified.
But not Saturday. A group of their neighbors came out to their house to give it a little TLC. They enlisted Andy, a local painter, and with the help of Sherman Williams, painted their entire house for free.
It was amazing to even have somebody even offer that.
I think we've had a lot of really positive support from the community, so once the word got out that we were trying to do it, people were really eager to help.
So eager, in fact. Not even a mid-morning thunderstorm could stop them for long.
It looks great. I couldn't be more pleased.
Those who showed up say they hope this will send a message to the rest of their neighbors that love will always beat hate.
The more time we spend positively impacting our community, the less space there is for everything else.
Again, that was Michael Abeyta reporting. Bringing it back here to the Springs, a Colorado Springs doctor played a crucial role in helping thousands of rape victims over 2.5 decades. This is Dr. Daniel Sotiris. He helped start the Rape Crisis Center out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He was recently honored for starting the city's first rape crisis center for adults back in 1995.
That program takes care of about 1,200 to 1,500 people a year. So as I thought about that over 25 years, that's a program that's basically taking care of as many people as fit in the Pepsi Center.
That is huge. Dr. Sotiris is part of Asthma and Allergy Associates here in Colorado Springs. Now he adds he isn't involved in a rape crisis center here in Colorado, but he believes his volunteer work has made him a better doctor and advocate for all of his patients. A Colorado Springs nonprofit needs your help so they can help foster children. Cases of Love is hoping the community can step up and collect suitcases for kids as they move through the foster care system. They're also accepting new or used duffel bags and backpacks. Donations can be dropped off next Saturday at the Nordstrom Rack. That's at the Chapel Hills Mall here in Colorado Springs.
You don't have the same sense of self as you would with a suitcase, and so it means the world to a child to be able to carry them.
Now, so far they've collected about 600 or 700. The goal actually is 2,000, so you can help them meet it. All right. Absolutely love seeing and hearing video like this. A 10-day journey is taking place across the country. Hundreds of motorcyclists were on Colorado roads today. This is part of the Run for the Wall motorcycle event. 11 News viewer Amanda shared this video of riders passing through Fountain. Riders are traveling from California to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. for Memorial Weekend. It was founded 30 years ago and recognizes the sacrifices and contributions made by every single veteran. About 50 tornadoes touching down all across the U.S. in less than just 24 hours. Coming up on 11 News, the latest on the destructive weather continuing to strike several states. Plus, never judge a book by its cover. Just one of the messages a Colorado Springs teen is hoping to spread about disabilities. Hear from the legally blind baker. Lucy?
Tony, after a cooler start to the weekend, we are shaping up for another chilly morning. Temperatures dipping down into the 30s for some of us. But guess what? There's snow in the forecast. I'm going to break down when and who will see the white stuff again coming up after the break.
Forward to tomorrow. A young woman in our community spent 3 months and applied to about 50 places trying to find a job as a paid work experience through her school. She did find one, but she's got a message that needs to be heard.
Well, I'm just going to say it sucks looking for a job when you have a disability.
Emily has been at Icing on the Cake in Colorado Springs for about 6 months now. Did you hand make these flowers too?
Yes. Yep. I wanted them to look curved, so I let them sit and dry like that.
Emily was also born blind.
You don't have to be totally blind to be legally blind.
Even with some vision.
Because it's not like it's blurry, but even when I get this close, it's just like not there. Like it just doesn't exist. Like I have no point of reference.
She sees the world in a way most people can't understand.
It is so incredibly hard to describe what I see.
Her boss, Misha Halberg, wants to share Emily's talent with the world.
It's incredible what she can do, especially because she's doing them herself.
Because we're just normal people, we just do things differently.
Halberg admits she had to take some time before hiring Emily.
I was just worried about her being in a commercial kitchen and getting hurt, but she is amazing.
So I think it's incredibly valuable for people to recognize that we have skills and we have the ability to gain skills.
She's taught us a lot. She says we taught her, she taught us.
Yeah, she taught me a lot too, and Emily's studying interior design. While I was there with her, I learned several people already ordered cakes requesting they be made specifically by Emily. Such an awesome young woman, hoping the best for her in her future. Well, a rise in hepatitis C cases across the country. Find out what health experts are saying is to blame for the spike in cases. But first, here are tonight's winning Lotto, Powerball, and Cash 5 numbers. Best of luck.